By the way, Martha, I called Jim and told him we were going to meet virtually this month.
I brought the instructions to him.
Oh, good.
Good.
Okay. Looks like we're live on YouTube now.
Okay. With that, it is now 3 o'clock, and I call this virtual meeting of the Clarksville-Montgomery County Public Library Board of Trustees meeting to order. I note that we do have a quorum. Please note also that this meeting is being recorded and it is being streamed. It is being live streamed. We have not had any request for public comment. And do I hear any other public comment to be offered at this time? Hearing none, I'll close that item. Hope everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes of the February meeting. If so, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Ron moves to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline seconds. Is there any discussion? Any amendments? If not, let me got to make a list here. I have to do this in the right order, Cecilia. You'll get mad at me if I don't.
Oh.
Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline,
Yay.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason.
Yay.
Okay, the minutes are approved as submitted.
Gerald,
Ron,
I'm
I
here.
think
Dot,
you
this
have
is
several
Dottie.
reports for us. Would you
Well.
please give us the February financial statement?
Dottie just got in.
Oh, hey, Dottie.
Joyce, you're on mute.
I am muted now. Okay, is that better?
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ron?
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, if you look at, I guess I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the financial statement. If you look at the detail here, budget 8 months is equal to 66.67%. So in comparing the revenues, we're above budget at 71.95%. The personnel is slightly below budget at 63.41%. And the operating services are well below budget at 47.85%. I'll note that the elevator invoice is yet to be paid, which will go in there. Significant invoice as well as some HVAC invoices. So there's more to come there. The supplies are way below budget at 47.92%. Other charges much below at 9.48. Equipment is below at 40.63, and overall the expenses are below budget at 59.42%. The budget looks good. I've looked at the detail and all of it agrees with what Martha has reported here.
Good. And we have ending balance of special projects of what, Ron?
Okay, I'm sorry. Forget that. The special projects has got a balance $361,404, and the fund balance is one after amendment is $161,549.
Thank you. Do I have a second for this motion?
Second.
Jason seconds. So there's a motion made to accept the financial report. Is motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, I will call roll call. Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline,
Yes.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason,
Yay.
Dottie,
Yay.
thank you. The financial report is accepted. Ron, I think you have two.
Yeah, there are two other amendments. We had a budget meeting last Friday and discussed it detail with Martha and the committee about the amendment to the current budget, and that's for the COLA raises. So I make a motion that the committee approved unanimously the amendment to the current budget, and make that motion that we're recommending the motion. But
And
we're recommending
motion
the
includes
amended budget.
the new staff raises.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Was that Dottie?
Yes.
Dottie seconds. Is there any further discussion? Martha, I don't think there's anything we really need to explain, is there?
Well, I'll just show the budget since people haven't seen it. I just want to let you know that Matthew's also entered the meeting, and I've got Jim Marshall on my cell phone, so we have two more
Right.
people.
Oh, good.
But just to show you, because I did not send this budget out, it's, I didn't want to send so many budgets out that it was confusing. If you're able to see the screen, I'm going to minimize folks. You see the new MOE increase is 16,563. If I go down to the bottom of the page there, on the left column, we're in the hole by 7652, and adding the payroll only, we still stay in the hole by 7652. That's kind of the proof that we're not adding anything else to the budget but the payroll increase of 16,563. And so we would start the budget that you're going to look at next with this yellow column. That becomes the starting point should you approve this budget. If you have any questions, and somebody else is coming into the waiting room here.
That must be Joel.
Is that
That's all
Joel?
I've got. Questions about this? It's just a number. I'm not sure who it is. I'll assume it's Joel.
Joel or Jim?
Well, Jim is on my
It's
cell phone.
Matthew.
Okay.
It's Matthew.
Oh, it's Matthew. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late.
That's okay.
All right. Okay, are there any questions of Martha on the amended 2021 operating budget? If there are none, let me call the roll. Please say yea or nay. Jacqueline,
Yay.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason,
Yay.
Dottie,
Yay.
Matthew,
Yay.
Jim.
Yay.
Thank you. The budget is amended as submitted. Ron, you have a second proposal for us.
Comment there on this budget. If you look at the bottom, since this is the third time that this has been either approved or amended, I'm adding a little box to avoid confusion in the future that says when it's been approved and amended, and also having the board chair sign and date. So we'll have a little bit easier way to track things, these multiple approvals of budgets.
Thank you, Martha.
Okay, the next thing that we discussed and approved on Friday was the proposed budget for next year. And this is outside of payroll changes. It's with the MOE, but with no other changes. So the amount is 70,302 there. Martha, be better to explain this. This got a little more complicated than the other one. So,
Okay, Ron,
Martha,
you
would
made the
you like-
motion. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second. Dottie.
Jason seconds. Thank you. Okay, Martha, would you please explain the budget for us? And I know you said you were not going to go through it line by line, but you wanted to hit the highlights.
just the highlights.
Right, okay. So we have three columns here. If you look at the column that kind of has the green on the top, this is the budget that you just approved. It's the amended budget with the raises that are retroactive to January. So if we go down to the bottom, you can see the orange reddish items. Those are all the items that have been amended during the year, the payroll and the various things that you all have amended by budget amendments, et cetera. So we still had that deficit of $7,652. So the next column is going to be the proposed changes that I'm bringing forward to you. But there's no increase in the MOE. The MOE figure stays at the $2,126,078 in this column. So the things that I'm kind of forecasting for next year are that copy fees, these are our kind of internally generated income sources. I'm going to say that it's going to go down by $1,500, copy fees. It's gone down by quite a bit more this year, but hopefully next year there'll be more, a little bit more revenue. These are very conservative thoughts about this. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just was giving it my best guess. Fines and fees was $130,000. I think it's going to be around $100,000, down by $30,000. This year it's going to be down by $50,000 to $70,000, so I'm hoping that will improve. So those are some big numbers, 31.5 between those two, that I think the revenues will be down. And then I'm maxing out the Gracie at 155 versus 147.5 because the stock market has stayed high, and I think it'll probably, hopefully will stay high, and we'll get that full amount. Off a little bit on donation box, et cetera, by $400. The Friends donations, I told them instead of $4,700 a year, which is what they normally give us, we'll ask $3,000 from them since they don't have a lot of revenue coming in. And then, of course, we had that big budget amendment for $50,788 that took money out of the reserves. I would rather not take money out again to make up for this revenue loss. So that goes away, and that's a big loss under revenue. So you can see that revenue, well, you can't see it on this particular one. You can see it on the detail. It's over $70,000 that we lose in revenue. It's not equal to the amount of this, but it's, let me see if I can get in here real quick and see what the number is. 76,888 is what the revenue loss is according to my calculations, or my estimates, I should say. So that's the revenue. Do you have any questions about the revenue portion of it? Yet. And so the payroll, we have not received any figures. If I've received any figures for next year, I don't have the email working, so I can't tell you what those would be. It would be at least the steps, and they normally give us a COLA raise. So this is flat without any kind of payroll added, so you see there's no difference under payroll section. And then when you get down to the services section, the audit always goes up by $250 a year, which I think is pretty reasonable. The bank charges, the $1,900 that's added is for, and if it's in red, that means it's an increase in our expense. If it's in green, it means it's lowering our expenses. That's the increase in bank charges for having the two new TSYS or Heartland accounts to be able to do the e-commerce in the terminal. Communication is going to go up just a little bit. We have those landlines that cost money. I'd like to get rid of them, but we're going to have to wait a couple of years to be able to do that. Data processing services, you all did a budget amendment that added $8,000 to that line item. That was for some one-time things. I wanted to get a long-term contract and pay it all off at once, but we were not able to do that. So I want to inform you that we had a few things that we purchased one-time service fees, but we had to do a month-to-month with them. So we have extra money this year in data processing services. So I had to go with what I had at the time of the board meeting. We may end up, but we've lost our room reservation service. They're going to be going out of business. So we have to choose a new vendor, and we'll probably spend some of that extra money paying for that now rather than later. Debt collection services, if you recall, we took $5,000 out of that and we put it under HVAC to try to help pay for some of the HVAC issues because I thought debt collection services would go down dramatically. And surprisingly, they kind of bid us with a large invoice. We'll see if we have to amend that budget for the rest of this year. But so I'm restoring most all of that $5,000 back to that line item for next year. if I could cut out $2,400, or, I'm sorry, $400 or $500 out of a line item, I tried to do so. So debt collection services goes back up to just under what it was the previous year. I'm highlighting the things that are in bold because those are the things that are changing. Maintenance agreements, actually had 2,000 already in there for maintenance agreements. We added the almost 16,000 for the train new maintenance agreement. Since we already had 2,000 before, I took a little over 2,000 out of that line item. Since we already had done the heavy lifting of adding the 50,000 last year, it seems funny that with maintenance agreements we wouldn't be adding, but we already added this current fiscal year, so we're able to reduce, if that makes any sense. The building maintenance, we added, I think, 27,000 to that. I don't want to earmark that much. I'm hoping that it won't cost nearly that much next year if we can get most of our problems solved this year, but I want to be on the safe side, having enough money in there to repair the HVAC, because I do believe we will have more problems. But since we already put that money in this year, the budget is actually going down a little bit, $8,200. Postal charges have just been declining year over year, so I'm just taking $200 out of that line item. Data processing supplies, again, feel like I could take a few hundred out of there. And the corresponding expenditures that go with French, which is food supplies and office supplies, I'm taking a total of $1,700 out of that, since we're asking for less money. So the food supplies go from $1,550 down to $850, saving $700, and the office supplies Friends goes down from $2,700 to $1,700. Natural gas, taking out another $500. As I said to the budget committee, I think we were improperly charged a couple years ago. We were getting somebody else's bill, so this is more like it should be. Water and sewer, again, $200 out of that. Just looking at the pattern over the last several years. And then other charges, supplies. This is kind of the new one that we created. We were correcting some of the things that we had not done correctly in years past. I feel like we could take $500 out of that. The rest of the budget is the same amount. So I've tried to save as much as possible to ask the county for as little to balance the budget for us, which is the next thing I want to talk about. If you look at the bottom of the budget, after my changes, we go from 7652 in the hole to 70,302 in the hole. And then the next column shows what happens if they give us that 70,302. We go to a balanced budget. We don't, the budget outcome is that we're balanced. And then they increase our MOE by 70,302. So let me kind of show you what the increase is made up of. And it's a little bit hard to see directly from the budget because of all the things that we've done this year that affect next year. But basically, what I will say when I go before the budget, assuming we get a budget hearing to ask for this, the shortfall in the HVAC maintenance contract, $14,000. Again, I already had $2,000 in there, so it would be more than $16,000 for that maintenance contract. The added HVAC maintenance costs, part of that was about $5,000 was restored to debt collection. It's really $23,500 for next year, but it covers the majority of that. The shortfall in fines and fees, that revenue that I don't believe that we're going to get next year, $30,000, and then it would get rid of that budget deficit we were in this particular current year, and it also pays for the e-commerce items, those new things. So that adds up to $70,302. And just a reminder of that $50,788 that was brought in last year, $42,788 covered the maintenance agreement and the extra HVAC maintenance costs, and then the mail server back up that $8,000. That's what made out the $50,788. So I know this is a lot to take in. Basically, I'm asking for MOE increase outside of payroll, which I haven't done. I can't remember if I've ever done it since I've been the director. And if you all approve this budget today, this would make it very clear exactly what we're asking for. Once payroll is added in, which it will be, it'll kind of muddy the waters a little bit, but this is what I intend to ask for.
Okay, let me make just a couple of statements to supplement what Martha said. First of all, Martha is to be highly complimented on her ability to keep up with the budget. Notice that she must meet all the requirements of Munis, and there are some very specific requirements there. Furthermore, she also keeps the board highly updated on what's going on. To get these figures that she's dealing with, she looks at the last 2 or 3 years and sees about what the average is to get a better estimate of where we are for this year. COVID, of course, threw everything out the window, and she's had to do a lot of guessing this year. So I just think that she needs to be complimented on what she has been doing with this and to keep us updated with it. I think that we have a good solid budget here. Ron, you were the chair, but I believe the budget committee was very impressed and pleased with this budget. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can I say something, Ron? I've been impressed with the fact that Martha's been able to control, except for the increases in payroll, which the county controls pretty well, without any, in other words, we have self-funded the shortfall in a couple. So we have not asked for extra money, operating funds, for a long, long time, since I can remember on the board, to be honest. But so that's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
And one final thing, please note that we did not get any findings this year on our audit, which means that it's been conducted, the budget has been monitored very, very well. Are there any questions or further discussions on the proposed 2021-2022 budget? If not, I will call the roll. Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline?
Yay.
Ron?
Yay.
Joyce?
Yay.
Jason?
Yay.
Dottie?
Yay.
Matthew?
Yay.
Jim?
Yay.
Thank you. The proposed budget passes. Martha, would you please give us the director's report?
Sure. I just also want to say that we'll be amending this budget that you just passed, so get ready for that once we get those payroll. You see the director's report on the screen. And as far as what's going on with my chin, I did not cut myself shaving or fall off my bike. I was attacked by a slice of pizza. In my chin, it's just some hot sauce. So that's what's going on there. The slice of pizza was clearly the winner.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
That masks come in really handy in certain situations. Okay, so director's report, statistics, as far as the months since we've had really, since we were shut down, this February was kind of the worst one as far as statistics went. We had a 4-day snow closure. That was one thing that affected it. That's the longest closure that I've seen in my 12 years here. Hope we won't have another one anytime soon, so. And we also had that kind of the shutdown of the computer desk, et cetera. I think that had a big effect on our statistics. So you can see that they're not great in February. Hopefully they will come back. It's been pretty busy lately. We've done a lot of hiring. Christina is to be commended for her work with Jason and Gracie. We're doing 157 interviews lately for all the open positions that we had. They were able to fill 3 of the 4 PSA positions. They had 4 candidates, but one of them was not able to work the hours for the particular position, but we are going to be hiring that person as a new shelver to replace one of our shelvers who's going to take another position that opened up since I wrote this director's report a full-time custodian has left, and so when all the dust settles, we'll only have one open position, and that'll be children's part-time PSA position. So things are going a lot better. Most of those folks are going to start either the 22nd of March or the 5th of April. It's going to be a big day where we have 4 or 5 folks starting. And Christina's very excited about the spirit and energy of the folks that are going to be coming on board. It's good. Programming, we have something called As Seen, as in cinema, talking about movies. It's a lot of fun. We're also extending that into a podcast, so there's kind of an abbreviated version on the video, and then you can have a longer discussion if you want to listen to the podcast. And Cooking with Kimberly, that's been going on for a while. I wish she were able to cook from a new kitchen, but she's still using the old kitchen. And it's a little embarrassing, but we'll have a new kitchen here in a couple of months for the staff. COVID-19, we're staying in the same mode that we're in right now. We just heard from the mayor that the mask mandate for the county will be ended 19th, Friday at midnight, essentially. However, county buildings will still require masks. Social distancing, it's going to be interesting moving forward once the mask mandate is completely done, how to deal with, what we do with barriers and things like that, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But right now, with the mask mandate continuing inside the library, I would like to continue waiting for more people to get vaccinated and stay where we are for another month or two, if possible. The HVAC update, we've had some compressors fixed. We've got 4 or 5 smaller issues with valves and things. I'm hoping they will address that in the next month, and we'll be in much better shape. I'm going to skip the next one. E-commerce, we'll still have a policy for you to approve today. So it's coming closer. It's been very complicated, as complicated as I thought it would be, but we're getting very close to having that up and running. Staff kitchen remodel got a little bit delayed because of the snowmageddon that happened, but should get delivery of the cabinets for inspection next week, so I'm excited about that. And I'm going to turn it over to Christina to talk about the Tennessee Library Association conference, virtual conference coming up, and her presentation with Gracie, and also about the feeding of folks in the community that the library is doing. She's just going to sit in my spot.
Oh, it's so nice to take off the mask for just a minute. Okay. Okay, so I've got 2 things to share with you guys today. The TLA conference, the Tennessee Library Association conference, has decided to do their thing virtually this year. And so that being said, their theme was Tell Your Story, Shifting Perceptions. And of course, a lot of things have been shifting, especially with COVID these days. And so I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to talk really about how we've grown in the last year. And so our presentation, the title was also in Martha's report. This is us making creative, genuine, and personal community connections. And what Gracie and I work through is talking about, what we encountered and relating to the people that we're trying to engage during this training session through the COVID process and how we had to shift. How are we going to serve? How are we going to make those connections in a genuine way and really connect with folks? And one of the things that we were so proud of that this staff had accomplished was we were doing everything from book talks in our home, showing people part of our home and reading stories to kiddos with our dog. We had a more connective, intimate, very genuine relation with the people because it was virtual. So we wanted to get past a lot of our fears that we had about how are we going to connect, and we don't have a professional crew to modify our videos. We were just being ourselves. And during this time, we were very honest about, we care about their safety. We understand that the situation that our library is in and the world is in is difficult. We were very compassionate with people as we connected with them during programs. Some of the great takeaways that we'll talk about are some of the programs that were very comforting to the kiddos, such as Mary Smith has this wonderful evening story time. And that woman's got the stats like nobody's business. People really want to watch that show, and we were getting input about the story times and that people were going on a steady basis to connect with folks. We had people that normally they do not want to be near a screen or lead a program that push themselves on staff. And from Suede, we had people that are willing to do more crafts and DIYs for adults. We're also having this opportunity for staff to be able to have ideas and risk. And so we're going to be talking about taking calculated risks and doing a talent inventory with your staff. And one of the things when I do some consulting or help with a staff day at different libraries is that it's amazing to find out that many, many folks do not realize all the talent, skills, and interests that their folks have on staff. And so during this time where we are taking calculated risks and trying to be as creative as possible and pushing ourselves as a staff, all these great ideas came, and all these talents surfaced, and all these, concepts of, I don't know how to teach it, but I'd love to learn this. So people got to see more of a human part of the staff members that they were connecting with. So I feel like that was really special. We're going to talk about the foundation building that we're doing with our training and some of those cultural shifts that we're making and some of those struggles and using those struggles in movement whether it be COVID or a budget cut or all the unknowns you have in a certain working environment, using that momentum to make a positive change and trying to see the silver lining in what you can do because of this difficulty, because oftentimes wonderful things come from a conflict. And so that's an area that we're going to focus in on and really helping people flourish with their team. And a chance, we do love the chance to talk about how lovely and how proud we are of our staff. So that was one of the things that Gracie and I talked about. Are we going to have some time to be proud? And I said, absolutely. That's going to be a part of our session. So we like to talk up our library. We like to say, contact us if you want to share some ideas because we're a big library family. That's one of the things we love to do is boost each other up and come up with ideas from other libraries and have them share with us. So I think it's going to be a really good opportunity. This is the first time that Gracie will have an opportunity to present at a conference, and I hope there's many, many more because we're very lucky to have her. She's a wonderful employee and has a lot to give and great ideas, and she continues to be so creative, especially in our bread and butter youth services department. So I'm very proud of her, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to have this good interaction with her along with those that are attending TLA. The other really wonderful collaborations that we've done in the past that is exciting is the Food for Thought program. I talked to Dee Clark, who is in charge of Established Hands Ministries, and she works with us to provide the meals for the summer program. So even this last summer during COVID, it was a takeaway. So you could take it away, or if the parents came to pick up a meal for a little one under 18, then they can go ahead and do that. She gave me a call, and she's like, are you open to some options for after school? Because some of the kiddos that are going back to school may not have a dinner to come home to. I said, how about you give me a dinner and a snack? So she was totally great with that. So we have at least 40 meals that are available Monday through Friday for about 15, 20 minutes after school around 4 o'clock. And so at this point, if we have a few extra, it may go to somebody who might be in need at our library. But for the most part, it's going to those kiddos. And so that's roughly over 1,000 meals that we've served for somebody to come into the library who is in need, and that kiddo can have a dinner and snack to take home. So that is pretty exciting. We hope to continue it during the summer. For now, we're going to have this program it started February 22nd. And it's going to go to May 21st to make sure the kiddos have that span of time before the summer reading program, and then we start doing the lunch bunch process again. So I'm excited about future collaborations with Dee Clark. She also has opportunities for seniors, breakfast, lunches, evening meals, those type of things, and she would be open to working with us as the branch comes online. So I think this is a good partnership, and we've had some really great luck with it, and it's been a blessing to some folks during particularly hard times. So that's what I had to share for today, but I'm excited about both of those things, and I'm glad to see your faces.
Thank you, Christina.
You are welcome.
Okay. Again, we're fortunate to have both Tracy and Christina. Christina has presented several times already at Tennessee Library Association, and she's also been around the state of Tennessee to lots of libraries. So she makes us look good wherever she goes. And I think that's my director's report, unless you have any comments or questions.
Are there any questions?
I may have not heard this. What are the dates for the National Library Week? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
That is April, I think it's the week of April 6th, April 8th, 6th or 8th.
Okay. 5th through 8th, okay.
You have your, maybe she could look it up real quick and we
That's
can tell
coming
you.
right up. Okay.
It is, and we're doing some staff appreciation and some things to celebrate out in the public as well. And we're having some time in a luncheon to appreciate our folks with a little bit of candy and some good vibes. Yep.
Okay. Good.
Thank you. Cecilia, would you please give us the regional director's report?
Sure. So I don't have too much to say today. I want to remind, well, you board members probably don't already know about this, but we do have an in-service coming up on the 24th, so next week, where we will have a presenter talk about workforce communication, just workplace communication, just talking about how difficult it sometimes can be to work together when we come from different cultures and backgrounds and different ages and all that stuff. So I think that will be an interesting day. I think often when we hear about conflict, it's often stemming from lack of communication, at least at lack of good communication. So I think that will be great. His name is Dr. Cockrell. I don't know too much about him, but I do know he's actually situated here in Clarksville. And he will do a tri-regional in-service with us, and it's going to be online. So if any of the board members would like to join, just let me know and I'll send you a link for it. We are having another in-service / webinar at the end of April where we'll have talk about coding, basic coding. We're excited about that. Just a couple of hours, but I think it will be interesting for many of us. And I know a lot of children's librarians and teen librarians are excited about that day. So also, if you're interested, let me know and I'll get you the link so you can join us. We are continuing to track training. A couple of years ago, we started to put requirements on or at least put that in the library service agreement that we want staff members to get training depending on how many hours they work. They should have so many hours, CE hours every year. So we will continue to track that, and we will ask for that form to be sent to us by the end of the fiscal year. I know Martha is obviously doing a good job with that, but I just need to say it aloud once in a while. The last time we met, we talked about the regional board and the proposal that is now out to dismantle that. We have talked about that a lot the last month. You were the first group I talked to, and I think I learned a lot from talking to you first, which was, I think, good for me. And when you start to look at the different options that you have, and for your board, we'll definitely talk about that more if you are deciding to expand the board, or if you want to just take another approach, that is also fine. But, you know, just let me know if you want to discuss that some more. One update, we are hoping to get a decision, that a decision will be made sometime in June, maybe before. So that will help us as we start to plan for that. Again, we are hoping that if this does happen, and of course this is just a proposal, if it does happen, we'll be able to focus a little bit more on the library board chairs and take advantage of the regional library system that we have right now and get people together that are very instrumental in moving library boards forward, as well as the libraries. So I'm excited, and we'll see what happens. And I think the last time we met, I mentioned the State Library and the grand opening, and it's on April 12th, and that's still the case. And the plan is that it will be open to the public the day after that. So that is exciting. At the regional level, we have started to do consultations again. It's kind of been something that we haven't been focusing on much this year, but we are starting to do that again. So we'll be meeting with Martha in the next couple of months and have an hour conversation about different things that pertain to the library and the regional library, and to make sure that we do what is necessary for your library. So that's all I have. I have talked with Cindy Sneed a little bit, and I know you know that Gerald down at Stokes Brown, and she has been providing some information about what they did when they worked on their addition to their library down in Springfield, and hopefully that information will be helpful to you, and see how they did it. I know that she's also willing to talk to you in person if you like to do that as well. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions of Cecilia? Hearing none. Martha, has Jennifer tried to join us yet?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Jennifer. Didn't know you were here. Glad to see you. Would you please give us a Friends report?
Sure. Due to COVID-19, our annual Friends meeting, which is usually held in May, has been canceled this year. In lieu of that, I will be submitting the annual report that the president gives at those meetings to the Friends newsletter, which will be mailed out in mid-April. So an update that we have about our membership is that our current membership for 2021, with an expiration date of 2021 or later, is only at 74 right now. And that is largely due to the cancellations of the 2 in-person book sales in 2020, because that is when we normally take in large amounts of new members and membership renewals. So what we're going to do is we have a newly formed newsletter committee, and they've been working closely with Jessica Hartley to improve the mailings. We've had some issue with people either not getting their newsletter, or we really haven't had a set schedule in the past. So people didn't really know when to look for it, other than sometime in April, sometime in October. So we are going to try a new postage rate to better track any undelivered mailings. We've also included in the annual report contact information for Jessica, so that people can contact her if they're not receiving the newsletter, any future newsletters. We have decided, instead of sending quarterly newspapers, we're going to send out only two for 2021, mid-April, mid-October, just because there haven't been a lot of library activities to report as far as in-person programs because of COVID. So what we've decided to do also for the membership is that those who have not yet renewed will be sent the newsletters this year, the ones that haven't renewed for this year. So if they were members in 2019 and 2020, they'll still get the newsletter this time. And there will be a membership renewal form included in the newsletters when there is space available. We'll also have the form linked on the Friends of the Library Facebook page, as well as the Friends page on the library's website. So there's going to be a lot more accessibility with membership renewals. Just double check here. Okay, the April used book sale has also, the in-person has also been canceled. So the library has been absolutely wonderful. They have stepped forward and created a series of virtual used book sales that we've been having. The one in December generated $550 for the Friends, and there's a second virtual book sale taking place this month. And we will have announcements and links for those on the Friends page of the library website, as well as on the Friends Facebook page. I believe that is all I have to report at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Jennifer? The Friends have really struggled hard with COVID and not being able to do the book sales. And as more and more people get shots over this year, we're really hoping for being able to hold one in November or October. I think there are plenty of books back there, and we're ready to hold this thing. And the people in the library have done a good job with their virtual book sales for the really help. Thank you. Dottie, would you give us the nominating committee meeting report?
Well, we met, and we have met once. And we've communicated aside from meeting virtually. We are going to use our application that is posted on the library Facebook page. And Martha is going to issue a press release to announce that the library is looking for, we have one trustee position to fill this year. And so that is coming up. We have some folks already in mind, but we want to, as we say, cast the net wider and see who's out there. We are really trying to create a little bit more or a lot more diversity on the board as far as what part of the county people live in, ethnicity, gender, background, whatever. So we're going to really try for that. And then we will prepare a slate, and it will be presented in April. I mean, for the board to know, and then the voting takes place in May. So that's where we are right now.
Dottie, I'm going to make
Yes.
your job just a little bit broader.
Okay.
It's really difficult for me to say this, but at the end of this meeting today, please accept my resignation.
Oh my goodness.
I've had some health problems, and they've been pretty severe health problems. I've been keeping Martha apprised of what's going on and appreciate her support. Jennifer, I'm also going to submit my resignation to the Friends Board, and it's effective today. I've been with the library, gosh, for so long now. I really hate to have to leave. I'm just not going to be able to do the things that I used to be able to do. My wife and I are looking at we're trying to sell our house now, and we're probably going to move further east in the state. So today will be my last day on the board. It has been my pleasure to work with you guys. Cecilia, you attest to this. We have one of the strongest boards around. All of our board members fully participate. They ask questions. They do the committee work. And Cecilia can tell you, a lot of libraries never see the strength that we see in our board. And I want to thank you guys for your support for me and for the library. I think that I see nothing but good things happening. So, Martha, would you give us I'm sorry I had to miss that meeting. Give us the recognition committee update.
That's kind of a hard one to follow, trying to keep myself
Yes. Oh goodness.
together here. I just want to say, I've had a number of board chairs in my 12-year tenure here at the library. And there has not been anyone who's even approached the level of commitment and all of the wonderful attributes that Gerald has brought to the table. And can't even begin to tell you how much he'll be missed and what he means to the library. And we probably wouldn't be as far along and as successful in getting this branch library established without his presence and his presence on the Friends and everything else that he's associated with. So it's just blowing my mind to think of the library without him, and I just want to thank Gerald so much.
Second that too.
Absolutely,
Oh,
all of
who
us.
doesn't?
All of us. It's been such an honor to be colleagues on this board. And Gerald's leadership has just been, he's just the ultimate professional.
Right.
So
I
those
thought
shoes cannot be filled.
I thought he was gonna be chairman of the board for another 100 years or so. You know?
That's what we were all hoping.
We could wish.
Yeah.
Carol, we wish you good health and success in your travels,
Thank you.
your location.
Yes.
Can I say something? I really believe Gerald has gone way beyond the call of duty in many cases. I've seen him struggle with some difficult problems, as well as health problems. And I've been amazed at what he's been able to do. And so we wish you well and stay as healthy as possible and wish you happiness. But we're going to miss you.
We
Thank you,
will,
everyone.
very much so.
Absolutely. This is Jacqueline. And Gerald, I hope you know how this has absolutely knocked the socks off of me. I'm going to really miss you, buddy. You've been great.
Thank you.
Gerald, you were president when I.
Gerald, you're the one who kept me going. Jim Larson.
Thank you, Jim.
True.
Gerald, you were the president when I came on to the Friends of the Library Board, and you've just been a shining example of hard work, dedication, going above and beyond what you were called to do. You've given us a legacy to live up to, and can't thank you enough for all you've done. We are going to miss you. I'm going to miss you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hey, Gerald, I just want to, kind of like Jacqueline now, it's hard to talk without this is a very, very sad news. And for us at the regional library, you know how much you meant to us and to me as regional board chair. There for a while, you were an amazing support. And even now, I feel like when I talk to you, I always leave feeling a better person and feel like I have a good friend there. You have done amazing things for us and also for regions around the state. And you're very respected. And this is very sad and it's hard to take it all in, Gerald, to be honest with you.
Thank everyone for your warm thoughts. Ron, would either you, Jacqueline, or Martha like to give the recognition committee update? Martha?
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that. I also just want to say that we will be at the groundbreaking and you will be at the dedication of this building when it's finished. So we're not through with you yet.
Okay.
So as far as the recognition committee
Gerald?
update, this meeting, Gerald was not able to make it, which made it a lesser meeting. We did talk about basically what we need to do, what the agenda is going to be moving forward. I sent out the agenda to folks. I can send it out to the full board. You know, what documents do we need to create and that sort of thing. Christina, and they're basically 3 documents. I don't remember exactly what they are. One is the general policy document on naming rights. Another one is going to be what the levels of these things will be. And of course, this is all an attempt to leverage the building of the North Branch Library once it is funded and under construction, to see if people want to contribute to the library of the future, that library and the maintenance of this library. So all of that will probably begin early next fiscal year. But we're just trying to get our ducks in a row behind the scenes right now. And the committee will continue to work to create those documents, and at some point we'll bring them before the board to be approved. But I would expect that to happen at the beginning of next fiscal year. So things are moving along, I think, pretty well. We've used documents from a variety of different sources, and I think we have, between all those documents, we understand what we need to do. So that's my take on it, if anybody else wants to jump in.
I saw the documents, Martha, and they really look good. They've got some good ideas there. I think the board's going to be able to develop an excellent plan, and we still have probably another year before we have to have it. But after seeing the documents that were gathered, I feel real good about where the board will be able to go.
So do I.
Very well. How about a branch library update? Martha, I know you've got some things on hand coming up for this.
All right. As Commissioner Knight requested, I've asked to speak to the commission April 5th, so that if you all want to attend, I think they're allowing in person unless something changes. Friends and library board will be welcome to attend. I'm basically just going to show the final 3D, well, they're not really 3D, but the slides of the plans as they stand right now, just to help the commission remember that we do exist and we're a year behind where we would like to be. And so allow them to see those plans. And at the same time, we're trying to finalize, and I don't have a copy of this. I'll send it out before we send it out to the public to make sure there's nothing that you want to change. But very soon, we'd like to send another postcard mailing like we did. We did the voice vote postcard before. This one will be similar, but it's going to be more of a, here is the road to the new library, but we have a stop sign right now because you need to know it's not a done deal and call your commissioner, et cetera. So it's an advocacy postcard that will be mailed to a certain area of North Clarksville to encourage, to let people know what's going on, encourage them to advocate for the library and contact their commissioners. So I'm asking right now, hopefully I put this up. I don't think I did. The special projects, I would like to ask, let me see if I can get this up real quick. Ask for money to fund this. Well, without the email, I did not get this email to myself. So let me find the piece of paper. So the cost is going to be the printing of the postcards, and that'll be done by copies in a flash. If I can find it. Okay, here we go. Copies in a flash, that'll cost approximately $1,300. And then the cost of using the mailing list and mailing the postcards, that would be Presto Print, about $2,300. I think it'll really cost less, but I always like to build in extra $3,600. I would like to request up to $4,000 of the private funding from the special projects account to fund this advocacy mailer of these postcards.
Okay, do I have a motion to allow Martha to spend up to $4,000 out of the special projects funding?
I make a motion.
Branch Library.
I make that motion.
Jason makes a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I heard Joyce, I think. Thank you. Is there any further discussion or questions? If not, let me call the roll again. Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline,
Yay.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason,
Yay.
Dottie,
Yay.
Matt, Jim,
Are they on mute?
Did you hear Jim's response was yay?
who did?
Jim Marshall responded yay.
Jim said yay. Okay, we haven't heard from Matt yet. Okay, we still had the quorum then. The motion passes. Thank you. New business, do we need to make a motion, or is this just an advisement of a closing for staff day, October 8th?
No, you need to make a motion we traditionally have anyway, to close for staff day.
Do I have a motion to approve a staff day on October 8th, 2021?
I will move that. That's my birthday.
Dottie, happy birthday, Dottie. Dottie makes the motion. Do I have a second?
So I so move. Okay.
I second it.
I heard Jacqueline say she seconds it. Thank you.
Right.
Are there any questions or further information? If not, I will call the roll. Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline,
Yay.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason,
Yay.
Dottie,
Yay.
Matt,
Yay.
Jim. Oh, Matt says yay. Jim says yay. Jim?
Yay.
Oh, thank you. Okay. There are three things that I would like to talk to you about before we close the meeting.
There's one more item, just if this is
I was
the way you
gonna
want to end the meeting. We still have that policy to approve
Right.
quickly.
Oh, okay. I don't have the policy.
I have it up on my screen.
Oh,
And I had
okay.
printed out.
All right. Do I have a motion to make a new policy update on which policy is it? The e-commerce
313.
policy?
Mhm.
Yes.
I
So
move
moved.
that we
Motion.
approve the e-commerce policy.
Ron makes a motion. Second.
Second.
Joyce makes a second. Okay, Martha, would you explain the policy, please?
It's just something that, another hoop that we have to jump through to get the e-commerce done. We have to have this on the website. It's required by Visa. We didn't really have a policy. It's just a short privacy, refund, and security policy that people need to see before they make a payment through our website. Unless you want me to read it to you, which I doubt that you.
No.
It's not necessary.
I think you probably use what, the TLA policy on this?
Well, they had some recommended policies that we kind of used, and then our refund policy is what we do here.
Okay, so it fits in well with the other policies.
And if we need to change it and we find out that it needs to be tweaking, you all can always amend it later.
Okay. We have a recommendation, a motion and a second on a commerce policy. Please say yay or nay. Jacqueline,
Yay.
Ron,
Yay.
Joyce,
Yay.
Jason,
Yay.
Dottie,
Yay.
Matt,
Yay.
Jim. Didn't hear from Jim. Okay, the motion passes.
I'm sorry, I had it muted, that's why. Jim said yay.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
There are three items that I would like to discuss before I close off here. Ron suggested to me the governor's emergency order extends through April 28th. And I had sent something out stating that both March and April would be Zoom meetings. Ron suggested that perhaps with so many of us getting our COVID shots, that the board might wish to meet in a face-to-face setting in April. How does the board feel about that?
I'm great with it.
Yes,
I mean, I will,
That's
you know, be
fine.
past,
My question is, how many people have had their one shot or 2 shots? I've had 2.
I've had 2, Jacqueline, yeah.
had to. Dottie,
I've had 2. This is Joyce.
Jim, have you had yours?
Jim has had both of his. I will have both of mine by the time the 21st rolls around and have my extra time, so I'll be in good shape.
Okay.
So the question is, who hasn't had
Right.
the 2 shots? And
Matt, how about you?
I have not had my 2 shots yet, but I will get them before the next meeting.
Okay, so what I hear then is pretty much that everyone feels comfortable with a face-to-face meeting on the April 21st meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
I would say.
I do.
I would love it.
Okay, and Martha she's done this before. The room upstairs is large enough to where we can spread out and still maintain the social distance and that masks are still appropriate. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is something Cecilia brought about. And this is something for us to consider, for the board to consider in the future. I keep saying us. Number one, effective in July of 2022, the state has already said that they would like to do this. And that is to eliminate the boards of directors of the regional libraries. Our bylaws state that we have 7 trustees and 2 ad hoc members to the regional board of directors. As of July 22, 2022, that will no longer be the effect. I suggest that sometime in the next year, this board take up a revision of the bylaws, if they wish, to make the board a 9 instead of 7. And I think 9 is a good number. It gives us a very broad board. And that still keeps us within state standards. And that, so the board needs to take this on sometime within the next year, before 2022 rolls around. That's just for your information and to keep in mind. The third thing that I want to talk about is something that needs immediate action. If you will remember, Martha was hired in May, and May is when we do the evaluations for Martha. So Martha, would you please send out a copy of the evaluation form to every member, every trustee, and we would suggest a request that all the trustees return your evaluation of Martha to the acting chair or the new chair, which will be Jason, by the April meeting. That way, if you get them back by the April meeting, then the chair can put this together into a composite report and can then have a meeting with Martha in May. Is that okay, Martha?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. That's all the items that I had. It's been good to work with you guys. I wish you good luck in the future. And you can bet I'll be keeping up with what's going on.
You better.
I have too much investment.
You better, right.
And Jacqueline,
Keep in touch. Yes.
I do need to talk with you.
Okay.
And I no big secret, but I'd like to get the names and numbers of the booksellers that come to the book sales. The reason is my wife and I have a lot of books that we have to get rid of. We're going to be at a pup tent somewhere in East Tennessee. So we're not going to have room for all these books. So anyway, I'm looking for somebody to come in and just give us a mass offer. Say, hey, I'll give you 50 cents for your whole collection. You guys have been fun. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
One second before adjourning. Hey, Ron, I sent your text message. If you get an opportunity, please take a look at it. Okay.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it. And then
Is there any further business to bring before the board?
no other business.
No other
Besides-
business. Any monkey business?
No funny
Don't
business.
tempt us.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Jason makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Yeah, Ron has a second. I'm not going to do the roll call. We've been, I think everybody agrees. We've had a good meeting. Thank you, guys, and good luck for the
Thank
future.
you.
We'll see everybody later.
Hey, thank you, Gerald.
Okay,
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Gerald.
so much.
Thank you, Gerald.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.